you can still kill off your siege and get speedups back. Many old players already know about this method, but many new players don't, and many don't really understand what's the best way to approach this. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. The first thing you need is to be in KVK. You don't want to do this outside of KVK, because in KVK you get unit return. So after killing your siege, you get half of them back. And that half you can kill again. If you do the math, this number converges into 2. It never reaches 2, but it approaches 2 very closely the more KVKs you play. So every unit you train and kill in a KVK and do it again and again will eventually end up being 2 units. Some KVKs get 60%, maybe you get 55, maybe you get 60% if you're in a high tier KVK. If you get that, you're just gonna have slightly better results. The second thing you need after being in a KVK is a full hospital. I just killed my siege, my hospital is still full, I'm healing with helps. Now you might wonder, in a KVK, full hospital, I don't want to do this mid-fight, right? And when do you kill 720k units? Just to kill your siege? That's not worth it. So when do you do this? You do it either after a ruins fight or an altar fight. Because in an altar or ruins fight, you only use 1 march, you can slowly fill your hospital, and at the end of the fight you can manage it, so your hospital is 80 to 90% full, and then you can go kill your siege. The third thing you need obviously is siege to kill. I just killed all my siege, so I don't have siege to kill. I can't do this anymore. Now the question is, how do you actually go ahead and kill your siege? So I'll put a clip in the background here. So the setup is, you get a friend with 5, 6, 4, whatever how many marches. It should be a lot of marches, should be high damage marches, and they swarm a resource node. You put your siege instead of the resource node, and this is very important, you should not have War Frenzy. I didn't test if it works with War Frenzy on, but Piano told me, shout out to Piano by the way for helping me do this and giving me the idea. If you have War Frenzy, it might not work. So don't take the risk, just wait for the War Frenzy to expire and then do it. Put it in the resource node and then your friend will attack you. And the number of siege you should put in the resource node should be between 50 and 100k because you want most of the siege to die. And the severely wounded or dead conversion of your unit march is based on your unit size. So if you put more units inside of your march, if you put like 300, 400k, if you're later in KVK and have good tech, then you will have a lower ratio of severely wounded and you will have to do it more often. You basically want to get absolutely destroyed in that resource node. And then after the first or second time you do it, you should get a help pop-up. You should get those alliance helps coming in. You can see it in the background. And you should wait for all the helps to reach your city and then you should continue. Then you can do them one by one and you won't have any more helps coming in. You will just get these reports right here. You can see the reports. You will get these type of reports. I did T1 last, and here I did a mix of T4 with you get resource back and spears back. And then the question comes, now we get into the math. What type of siege should you kill? I'll just quickly go over the math, right? So we have documented, this is me, this is how many I killed, the return, the speed ups and whatever. This is the total. So in total I got 36 days back for this amount of deaths. And then for Piano, you got 20 days back for this amount of deaths. Then here we have the stats with 100% train buff, how long it takes to train a siege, right? 45, that's 1 minute, and yeah, you can see for 24. Sadly, we did not test T2 and T3 because we don't have those sieges. But for the next KVK, I'm gonna train T2 and T3 and I'm gonna kill them off. And I'll make another video showcasing the unit return of T1 until T5. If any of you watching this have T2 or T3 or even T4, T5, T1 siege you're gonna kill off, please send me the reports so I can expand this and I can get a bigger sample size. Okay, and then looking at the next table, we can see the total return for T5, the return per siege. So per siege you get 30 food, 30 wood. This is not in million anymore, and 0.13 minutes. You can see the same for T4 and for T1. And then this is the juicy part. Percentage of investment return. So the resources are all equal, right? For T4 to 5, I mean, this is 0 point. This is like point percentages. This just, I don't know how the algorithm works for return, but I think this is just like statistical error because the sample size is also very small and we only did 2 runs. And for T1 siege, the resource return is slightly higher, but of course it doesn't take storm and gold to train, so you don't get those back. And speed ups wise, T4 is the best, but it might very well be that T4 and T5 are the same. If you get a larger sample size, right? Maybe those two converge to 13.5. T1 is way below that. I will try and get a bigger sample size, but this already paints a pretty good picture of how much you return, just because of these two being very similar. So you can assume around 13.5% on average. And then here we have the return with the KVK. So I'll show you this again. At first you have one troop, right? Then when you kill them off, you get 0.5 back. When you kill those 0.5, you get 2.05 back, so you get 50% back again, and so on. And this number, if you continue, this is the sum of it, it eventually almost reaches 2. It will never surpass 2, but it will almost reach 2, right? It will be infinitely close to 2 if you continue this. Of course, you won't play an infinite amount of KVKs, but even after, let's say 5 KVKs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very close to 2 already, even after 5 KVKs. So we can confidently assume 2 in these calculations, and we just double everything, what you get back. And then we see that for T5 siege, you get almost 27% back, and for T4 siege, you get almost 28% back. You take average 27%. And resource-wise, you get about a 1/7 back of what you invest. Of course, when I say you get speedups back, you don't actually invest speedups into training siege. What you do is you train siege naturally over time, and then when you accumulate your siege, you kill them in the KVK. And then we go to this part. This is per year, right? Like per in real life year of training siege with 0 speedups invested, you get almost 100 training speedups. This is only training speedups. You get 1.46 million T4 deaths with 50% return, and if you only do T4, and you spend around 126 million food, 126 million wood, 94 million stone, 12 million gold. And this is already considering the resource return. So before the resource return, this would be even higher. Is this worth it? 100% yes. Those are a very small amount of resources, and 100 days is not bad. You basically get every day you train T4 siege, you get 6 hours of speed ups for free later on of training speed ups. And you get a nice buff to your death number. I know people don't want to talk about this, but the reality is you boost your death number with this. And if you do T1 siege, in the future they might make an update where you can see your deaths based on troop type. And if you kill a lot of T1 siege, you might have a lot of T1 siege there in your death statistic, and it's going to look very ugly because this is boosting your death statistic, and these are not deaths you gain from combat. The type of siege to train we determined is T4, but there's one exception. If you want to push for something like a Zenith skin and you don't have enough speed ups to get it without upgrading T4 units to T5, it is fine to upgrade your T4 siege to T5, because that's way better speed up conversion than training straight T5 or training straight T4. But only really if there's something like a Zenith skin and you really need the skin and you don't have enough speed ups otherwise. I was in that situation. I pushed for a Zenith skin. I had a lot of T4 siege, so I upgraded them to T5. And if I didn't do that, I think I would have still gotten the skin, but it would have been much closer. So that's it for the video. A little bit of math of what you can expect when you kill your siege consistently and when you train siege just to be killed. I think this is the best purpose for siege right now. You get a decent amount of speed ups and you boost your death statistic, which some people might like if they have higher deaths. But if you do it as T1, it can backfire in the future. Yeah, so that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.